So somebody is asking very interesting question. One of my teacher from other institute asked me, why do we study anthropology? What use what use will studying human evolution will have in current times? And I was unable to answer it. Okay. So no, it's a good question. At least you should know why are you studying anthropology. At least you should be able to justify कि भाई आपने जो choice ली है, say being you will be an IAS officer, and if you cannot justify your choices, there is no point of aspiring for this such kind of jobs. Okay, so definitely you should have the reason. So we should discuss this. Why do or what benefits that anthropology can actually give you. So the thing is कि any river or any particular entity who does not knows about the past will never have a clarity about the future. The idea about the past is very much necessary to understand the journey that we will be covering in the future. And that's why we read history, and the grand history is anthropology. Okay, the grand history of the humans. It's not about certain dynasties, certain communities, but the grand history of the humans. Okay, and only then we will be able to shape up or to understand what journey we are going to take. So बहुत सारे ऐसे factors that has happened in the past which have shaped up our lives. Okay, and if we don't know what has happened in the past which has shaped up our lives, how we will be able to have a better control over the future, or say a better regulation over the future. Our life will always be like trial and error if we don't know कि पहले क्या हुआ and how it has impacted us. So for example, studying human evolution, why it is very important? Because we get to know that when we started living sedentary lifestyle, okay, so the moment we shifted towards agriculture from hunting gathering, a big problem started to come up. What was the problem? That it is for the first time population density started to increase. And when the population density started to increase, what actually happened? That microorganisms started to spread. So infectious disease started to rise up. We started to domesticate animals. The microorganisms started to transfer. We started to excrete in a particular place. The excreta got accumulated and eventually it became the breeding ground. We wanted a stagnant source of water. So stagnant water became the breeding ground for the insects and all. And eventually एक के बाद एक infectious disease आने लग गई. And due to which, what actually happened? Human body evolved. How the evolution happened? That survival of the fittest. Some who were unfit for those, say, in order to compete with those microorganisms, they died out. And some who basically were fit enough, they survived, and that's how the fitter population eventually became the, say, source for the newer population. Okay, so this is what actually happened. Now the story repeats, but this time we were better prepared for it. The story repeated in 2020, but we knew the history, and that's why we were better prepared to tackle that emergency. That it could not, this time it was not the survival of the fittest. It was basically we had the cultural solutions. It was not that everybody was left कि तुम्हारे genes के भरोसे हो तुम. If you can survive, you can. If you cannot, if you could. Okay. This time we had cultural solutions for it. We had masks, we had say sanitizers, we had vaccines and various other treatments that could actually make an individual survive. Else, our life would have been just like what it would be 10,000 years back. So it's only from the study of the past of the humans or the evolutionary journey of the humans, we are able to make sense of what we are doing right now. Okay. बहुत सारी चीजें we take it for granted. That what we do, it's like something, but if you don't know what we are doing, why we are doing it, you cannot make sense of your life. Okay. So a lot of behaviors that we are doing right now, okay, anthropology will give you the reason for it, why it emerged, why people follow it. So that is something that you should know. So that's why I always remember, knowing your past will give you a clarity towards the future. And if you don't have, or if you have a blurred vision of your past, eventually you can never have a clarity towards your future. Okay, आपको तभी पता चलेगा कि किस direction में जाना है और क्या होगा. Okay, and what will impact me in what manner.